Satou is the kind of villain who doesn't just want to win, he wants to watch the world crumble around him while he does it. In Ajin Demi-Human, Satou is a former soldier turned immortal terror, but immortality alone isn't what makes him terrifying. It's the way he weaponizes it. He's cold, calculating, and absolutely sadistic. Satou doesn't simply kill his enemies, he plays with them. His calculated ambushes and violent schemes are often designed to break his targets emotionally before finishing them off. For example, one of Satou's most memorable moments is when he orchestrates a brutal assault on government officials, live streaming the carnage to spread fear. His calm demeanor throughout these horrific events shows how little regard he has for human life. What's even scarier is his twisted sense of humor. To Satou, all of this is entertainment, a game where everyone else is just a piece on his board. The blend of his military precision and his unnerving charisma makes him an unforgettable figure of destruction. Brando, a name synonymous with arrogance, cruelty, and unstoppable ambition. From the very beginning of JoJo's bizarre adventure, Dio's hunger for power is evident. Born into poverty, he claws his way into the wealthy Joestar family with one goal: total domination. But what sets Dio apart isn't just his ruthless ambition, it's his transformation into a vampire that pushes him into a realm of pure terror. As a vampire, Dio becomes nearly invincible, his strength and cunning elevated to supernatural levels. His stand, the world, gives him the power to stop time, a terrifying ability that he wields with merciless precision. One of Dio's most infamous acts is his cold-blooded killing of Jonathan Joestar, his adoptive brother and greatest rival. But Dio's evil doesn't stop there. He goes on to manipulate and terrorize future generations of the Joestar family, leaving a legacy of suffering in his wake. Dio's blend of charm, brutality, and otherworldly power cements his place as one of anime's most iconic villains. Shogo Makishima is a provocateur of chaos, a man who thrives on the collapse of society's fragile order. In the dystopian world of psychopaths, where the Sibyl system dictates morality, he rejects it entirely, not out of rebellion, but pure disdain for conformity. One of his most infamous acts is orchestrating the brutal murder of a beloved teacher, igniting a chain reaction of fear and violence. This act is not random. It's his way of testing humanity's boundaries, exposing the moral weakness behind the illusion of peace. Makishima's charm is as deadly as his intellect. He uses poetic words and unsettling calm to manipulate others into carrying out his designs, turning ordinary citizens into unwitting agents of destruction. His goal is not to lead or conquer, but to dismantle everything society stands for, leaving behind nothing but anarchy. Makishima's greatest weapon is his unpredictability. Every calculated step leaves both his enemies and allies on edge, knowing he is capable of atrocities without a shred of remorse. He is chaos personified, a man with no desire to fix the world, only to burn it down. Father from Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood is the ultimate puppet master. Created from the essence of the first homunculus, Father's ambition knows no bounds. He doesn't just seek power, he seeks godhood. What makes Father so chilling is his complete lack of humanity. While he uses the 7 homunculi, his literal children, as pawns in his grand scheme, he feels no attachment to them. To him, they're expendable tools for achieving his ultimate goal. Perhaps Father's most horrifying act is the Promised Day, where he sacrifices millions of lives to create a philosopher's stone powerful enough to absorb the energy of a solar eclipse. This act of mass murder shows the depths of his depravity, and yet Father is calm, even serene, as he carries out his atrocities. His terrifying power, coupled with his utter detachment from human emotion, makes him a villain who is as unsettling as he is powerful. Griffith, the charismatic leader of the Band of the Hawk in Berserk, starts as a hero, or so it seems. But beneath his charm lies a dangerous obsession with power. Griffith's dream of ruling his own kingdom drives him to commit the ultimate betrayal. In the infamous Eclipse event, Griffith sacrifices his loyal comrades to ascend to godhood as Femto, a member of the God Hand. This act is not just a betrayal, it's an annihilation of everything Griffith once stood for. The horror of the eclipse lies not just in the physical destruction, but in the emotional devastation it leaves behind. Griffith's transformation into Femto marks the death of his humanity as he embraces a new identity that is entirely devoid of empathy or remorse. His rise to power is a chilling reminder of what happens when ambition consumes the soul. Johan Liebert from Monster is a villain who doesn't need supernatural powers to terrify. His weapon is his mind, and his ability to manipulate people is unparalleled. Johan is a master of psychological warfare, pushing people to the edge, and often to their own destruction. One of Johan's most chilling traits is his ability to appear utterly normal. He's polite, charming, and even likable at first glance, but behind that facade lies a monster who enjoys watching others suffer. His most terrifying act isn't a single moment, but the trail of chaos and destruction he leaves wherever he goes. Johan's evil is subtle but all-encompassing, making him one of anime's most unsettling villains. Light Yagami begins as an ideal student, excelling in academics and embodying a sense of justice. But his discovery of the Death Note unravels his true nature. The notebook's power to kill by writing a name transforms him into a self-proclaimed god, determined to purge the world of criminals and create a perfect society. Light's justification for his actions is chilling. Every death, every lie, is part of his noble vision. Yet, as his power grows, so does his disregard for morality. Friends, family, and even innocent lives become tools in his grand plan. His battle with the enigmatic detective L elevates his descent into darkness. What starts as a duel of intelligence becomes a dangerous obsession, with Light willing to sacrifice anything to stay ahead. Yet his god complex blinds him to his own corruption. By the end, Light is no savior, but a man consumed by arrogance and delusion, leaving behind a legacy of destruction in the name of justice. Tomodachi's rise to power begins with an event that shocks the nation. A mysterious plague ravages Tokyo, killing thousands, as he claims responsibility, framing it as divine retribution for humanity's sins. In 20th Century Boys, this enigmatic figure builds a cult around himself, promising salvation while sowing paranoia and fear. His followers revere him as a messiah even as his actions grow more sinister. How Tomodachi's use of childhood symbols like a giant robot straight out of a young boy's dream turns innocent nostalgia into instruments of terror, blurring the line between fantasy and horror. What makes Tomodachi truly terrifying is his intimate knowledge of his enemies. He weaponizes their shared past, turning childhood friends against each other with ruthless precision. His charisma masks the emptiness beneath, a void filled only by his need for absolute control. One of his most shocking acts is orchestrating an apocalyptic event on New Year's Eve, pushing humanity to the brink while watching from the shadows. Tomodachi is not just a villain, he's a nightmare that feeds on trust, twisting it into the ultimate betrayal. Thank you for watching.